Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to Ed's Orchids. Now today I'd just like a few words about water. You know, an orchid, it can stand living in different environments to what it's used to. It can stand different lighting, it can stand different heating, it can virtually stand virtually anything. But one thing an orchid will not stand is incorrect watering. So I'd like to show you this video on how I water and how my multiflora and Paphiopedilums seem to do okay on it. Now the water I always use is RO water, and I'll just show you the system. It's cheap to run, and I say that because I'm not on a water meter, so I can use as much as I like. And it's non-electrical, so you don't have to worry about that. Now if you can see the horizontal pipe on the left there going towards the taps, that's the water coming from the greenhouse. The taps are just there to switch it on and off and give it the correct bar. There's a lot of water pressure there, so that's what we need. Now when the water comes in, it goes down this blue tube into the first chamber. Now the first chamber removes any sediment there is in the tap water. From there it goes through a carbon block that removes even more chemicals and things like that. From there it then goes up to the gearbox of the unit, which is a membrane. Now the water passing through the membrane, the only thing the membrane allows to pass through it is water molecules. It will not allow anything else to go through, and the wastewater is then discharged through the red tube down and out of the greenhouse into the woods at the back of the greenhouse. The good water then passes through the resin, which polishes it, cleans anything else that may be left in, and then the clean water, the water ready to use, goes down into this chamber I have underneath the bench. That's about a 40-50 gallon chamber. The thing on the right is where I collect the water from, the tap. Inside there is a very, very small fountain, and when I switch it on, the water just comes out. So that's the water I use, the RO water. I've just run a bucket full of water off, so I just want to test it to see what parts per million it's giving me. So we've got this TDS meter. Just leave it in there, wag it around a bit. And it's showing 1 part per million. Just 1 part per million. It's a relatively new RO system, so that's what I think it should be showing. Once it gets up to 20, 30, I will change the units in the system. But that's fine. Now the water you use for watering shouldn't be too hot or too cold. This coming out of the RO system is cold. So I generally boil some new tap water up and put some boiling water in there, and any water that feels nice to the touch is right for your plants. I'll just get a multiflora from somewhere. Now this is a St Swithin. St Swithin. It's flowered last year with 5 flowers on, and this year it's got 1, 2, 3 growths capable of flowering again. So hopefully that'll do good. So what I do, I just put it over the top of another bucket and water. Now don't forget there's two sides to a pot, so just don't water on one side. Now there's no feed in here, I'm just bleaching it or flushing it through, which I like to do. What I generally like to do is do this flushing just an hour after feeding, which helps you to keep the salt content down. Now that'll do for another couple of days, so we'll just put it up there. Another thing I'd like to say is, if you sort of dunk your plants in for watering, or watering over the bucket like this, then the only thing you're doing is running the salts that are in there back into. So if you've got sort of 200 parts per million to start with, but you use the same water through the same pots again, then you're only going to flush the salts out into the bucket, and you'll be getting more and more salts into your pots. So just use the water once. So to take the water out, don't use that again, flush it through, or else that can build up to 500 or 600 parts per million. That's about all I can say regarding watering. I hope some of you may have enjoyed it. I hope someone may have picked up one or two tips. So until next time, thank you for watching, and if you like it, please subscribe to my channel. So goodbye. Bye.